We got Mayhem 4 now in Borderlands 3, and with that the drop chances across the board have been increased for all the encounters, so that means some interesting things, and also if you combine it with playing offline. So in this video I want to talk about the best and also the easiest spots to farm legendaries in the game right now. Would of course be awesome if you could leave a like on the video as it shows your support. And let's go. Before we take a look at a very easy offline tactic that still works after the November update, I now want to focus on a boss that I'm farming for quite a while now. I've actually showcased this in a Borderlands stream once here on the channel a while back. But now on Mayhem 4, the drops of this Agonizer 9000 boss are even crazier. And you can of course find this boss in the Guts of Carnivora region on Pandora. Killing this boss on Mayhem 4 will namely get you multiple legendaries per run, like at least 2, but sometimes even 5 or 6. It's really insane. Maybe you remembered that hotfix that increased the drop chance of this boss a while back. Well, it's really noticeable right now on Mayhem 4. And those drops can totally include the best weapons in the game, like I got an anointed Nighthawk in from this boss with the on-action skill, and the fire rate is increased by 11% and the reload speed by 26% for a short time. I also found an anointed Maggie here, an anointed Hornet, 2 times actually the Hex, including a Nerf one. What I'm trying to say here is that this spot is better than the new dedicated loot drops that Gearbox has added with the November update, also because you can kill this enemy quite fast, and it's not a really hard encounter. It's full of armor, so you want to use corrosive damage, and actually every weapon works fine, like the Hornet with the fast fire rate is great, the nice corrosive damage of the corrosive crossroads, or you can use a laser exploder in the corrosive variant that will also help you a lot, or an easier to get weapon, the Wester gun from the Private Beans boss on Athena's. I already showcased this multiple times in recent videos. You find this boss in the sort of graveyard area, but you first need to complete the Invasion of Privacy mission that you get from Ava on your ship. Going back to the Agonizer, because we want to focus on the many crit spots like the red boxes. There is one underneath him too, and the eyes are crit spots as well. And they can easily take the robot out if you also keep an eye out for the environment and if you know how to dodge the many attacks. Keep moving in a circle, like use the whole arena, because the many attacks will be charged right in front of you, so if you keep moving they will miss, and then you wanna keep an eye out for the flaming floor. But there is actually one weapon that is a true standout in this encounter, and it makes the fight go way faster. And that's the Corrosive Gutsman SMG. There's namely a trick right now where if you aim for the right body parts, you deal an insane amount of damage. And the key is to stand far away from the Agonizer, so you increase the radius of the shots. And because the bullets pass through the multiple parts of the Agonizer, you'll see the health go down extremely fast. Kind of reminds me of the pipe bomb that we of course had around launch. Throw this blue grenade and then the enemy's health bar would simply disappear. Okay, this is not as overpowered as that broken grenade, but it kind of reminds me of that. I'm not sure if this is intentional or if Gearbox will maybe fix this. Either way, by using the Corrosive Gutsman on the Agonizer and really like aim for as many parts as possible, so I mostly shoot a little high so you still hit the arm and also you hit the head, and then you will have the most damage output. And then you only really need this weapon, although you also want to make sure that you have a gun to take out the things and the other enemies that you want to use for a second wind if things go south. An incendiary weapon will help you a ton to get you back on your feet, and during the Marcus ammo phase, that you can by the way sometimes skip if you just do too much damage with your Corrosive Gutsman. Anyway, during this phase, you can already damage the ads that are walking around there, so you can then easily kill them if you are in the fight for your life mode. Because stuff like this can of course happen on Mayhem 4. What is by the way nice about Mayhem 4 is that the 2 modifiers don't really affect this tactic. On Mayhem 3, it could be that you do minus corrosive damage, so then the fight doesn't go as fast. can't really happen in Mayhem 4. And also thanks to the recent update, there's now a vending machine right before this boss, so you can refill your ammo there anytime and sell the legendaries that you don't want. So you can farm this boss more before having to go back to Sanctuary to put stuff on your bank. To finish the job, like in the final phase, we want to use a weapon that can deal a lot of damage in a short period of time. I used the Butcher, that one really works. And then the shower of legendaries appears. If you don't have the Corrosive Gutsman, then the fight sure takes longer, but I still think it's manageable and a really great farm. Try equipping everything that increases your SMG damage or your corrosive damage or elemental damage in general, like a class mod or an artifact or certain skills. Like I use the Scorcher Spider because of the 10% elemental damage increase and also got extra corrosive damage on my artifact. A nice grenade that can also help is the Ghost Call from the Bloody Harvest event that you get for killing the Loot Ghost or Captain Hans in the hack map. This will help you decrease the health of the Agonizer faster too. But yeah, the Gutsman is really the standout here, and there's actually a guaranteed drop place right now for this SMG that is without a doubt one of the best weapons in the game. You get it from Borman Nades in the Meridian Outskirts map on Promethea over here. The problem is though that this is a rare boss, so the chance that you will find him here is pretty slim. Like I would say 1 out of 6 or maybe even more, but you can of course also get the special rare spawn mission on the bounty board on Sanctuary if one of your friends took out this boss, and then he will spawn like guaranteed. But yeah, then you can only encounter the boss once and then need to be lucky that the Gutsman drops, and that is corrosive. I will help a bit because I will give the Corrosive Gutsman away in this video. All you need to do is leave your PSN in a comment under the pinned comment, and you need to be a subscriber of the channel before you enter, and then I will pick a random winner and announce it in a future Borderlands 3 video. Wild Olives, by the way, won the Carbuncle, and GameRough 2 won the Q System Assault Rifle from my previous video. I've sent friend requests to also some previous winners who still need to get their gun. Of course, accept it, and then I will send it via the in-game mail. Sadly only on PS4 because that's where I play. And by the way, the Corrosive Gutsman is also super powerful in the Molly 1 takedown, where you will be fighting a lot of enemies with armor, including the bosses. So it's really worth it to try and get this gun. Although it can really drop everywhere in the game, like it's a world drop too. So it can totally drop from the Agonizer as well, or any other encounter in the game. You can also do another easy method to get legendaries that actually still works after the November update. And that's the looting in the Jacobs Estate region over here on the map. And it really spawns every time if you go to this location on Eden 6. But yeah, just like before the update, you have to play offline and then you will see this guy every time. And it's a very easy way to get many legendaries because this enemy dies extremely fast. And yes, you can now farm him on Mayhem 4. And that should totally increase the amount of legendaries that you can get. I did not notice that big of a difference compared to Mayhem 3, but it's still insane how many legendaries you can get from this loot thing. Also good to note is that the new annoyance from Mayhem 4, like the Wild Airborne or the Killing, don't seem to appear on the weapons while playing offline. Like I at least did not encounter them yet. Of course, if you saw any of the new annoyance on Mayhem 4 while playing offline, totally let me know in the comments down below. Also good to notice that the Agonizer is a pretty bad farm offline because then the loot drop increase from that hotfix is not applied. So you want to farm this robot online. Another note, and this doesn't happen that often, but it's still pretty annoying. Sometimes the legendary drops can fall under the map, so then you cannot pick them up, or I hear luckily could pick it up. So yeah, that makes it less convenient, but still it happens not that often. Hope that Gearbox will fix it though. Slaughter Shaft is also still a great option for a ton of legendaries, especially on Mayhem 4, but it's a pretty challenging encounter compared to the other two methods I showed you here. So I totally recommend Agonizer and loot things as more faster and easier loot farms right now. Subscribe for everything Borderlands 3 if you haven't already. Check out the giveaway in the pinned comment, like this video to support channel, and check out my previous video on the big update and everything you need to know. You can watch it by clicking on the screen, or I will link to it at the end of our golden chest opening that Dennis and I always like to do at the end of a Borderlands 3 video. Dennis Groovenbird was curious that if you had a good excuse why you were not doing a chest opening in the previous video.
Yeah, I had a very good excuse. You weren't there.
Oh, huh? But I was talking in the video. What's up? Yeah.
By the magic of Adam, we transported you back.
Yeah. So yeah, I was actually abroad, and Dennis recorded all the footage, and you can see that in the footage too. Like if you see a siren, then you know that's there, Dennis. So.
But it's nice to know that you missed me, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're back with another one.
Yeah, we're back.
Still terrible, or at least mine is. Let's hope yours is better.
Yeah, you really went on a downward spiral, and well, me too.
And so did you, apparently.
Only have shields, like no kidding. I only have shields except for one.
Oh wow, that is impressive.
Class mod. So I guess that is interesting. For now, we will speak to you next time. Check out the previous video on that big update with a full rundown of everything that you need to know. For now, we will speak to you next time, and goodbye.